Honestly, you're not gonna appeal to all the Muslim women out there.
You're not.
And not all the Muslim women out there are gonna be appealing to you. You need to understand that rejection is part of the process of finding the one.
And it's all about the relationship that you build up and how you repair it at the end of the day. That's what it comes at too.
I remember scenes when a boy and a girl in a school, they bump up and the books have fallen.
Yeah, her box falls and he picks it up.
That's what movies teach us about. In reality, honestly, it doesn't really have that weight. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ammar.
And my name is Hannah.
And we are the Love Coaches.
We're on a mission to help as many single Muslims find their potential spouse. Come and listen to our incredible journey of how we met each other.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you really love our content. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to a new episode. Not on the road, actually. We're back in our home because of many reasons, honestly. Maybe not all of you know, but we are pregnant, and inshallah we're expecting in February. So I think taking it easy and doing it at home is a better choice for us.
Yeah. So in today's episode, we're actually answering your questions. So we put out a form out that you can ask us any question anonymously, because we get many questions through our direct messages on Instagram with people asking us for advice. And so the best format we thought is through a YouTube video where we answer your questions, because we can't just do it through a message. We feel like that's not, we need more information. And this way people have given us a lot of more information through their questions. So inshallah, we'll be answering as many questions. I can't promise you we're going to answer all of your questions because there's so many of them, but we'll try to answer as many as possible.
So this is the first time we do this. So if you really like this kind of episodes, we're happy to do more, inshallah, later.
Just tell us in the comments below, and we'll also put out the form in the video underneath this, the form underneath this video, so that inshallah you can also add your questions to us. Inshallah, we'll answer them for you in a future episode.
Inshallah. So if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video and share it with as many friends or family members that you have and you wish they will get the benefit out of it, inshallah.
Most definitely, because we'd love to continue making these YouTube videos for you, because we've got lots of ideas, unlimited ideas of what we would like to create for you. So inshallah, please go ahead and subscribe and share this with all your loved ones. But before we get started with today's episode, let's start with dua, inshallah.
Inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma ashrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tawakkaltu ala Allah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
All right. What's the first questions we have?
All right. So I met a sister who messaged me first. Everything was compatible except the distance, and preferred not to continue when she found my profile very interesting. Should I continue to make dua to Allah or let it go? I'll answer this one.
All right.
Basically, the fact that she's decided not to continue means that she doesn't want to continue that relationship. So you continuing to make dua and being hung up on her is not going to do you any good. She's not interested. And I think there is sometimes people get this idea in their head where they have this romanticized view of someone, and we claim that they're the one. But khalas, they're not interested. We need to make peace with that.
I know what's better for her.
Right? That's what they say. I know what's better for her.
She doesn't know what
she doesn't know what she really wants. All of that, right? We play these fantasies, we tell ourselves these stories in our head, but that actually doesn't serve us in any way.
It's just in your head.
It's in your head.
That's the answer to the question.
She's not interested. She's clearly ended the relationship. She doesn't want to continue, and so let her go and move on and get to know someone else. And I think there's also another thing that I want to add is we think very restricted, that there's only one person and I have to as in the pool is very small. But subhanAllah, Allah is expansive. Allah is abundant. So why do we think so limited? Just because you spoke to one girl and you had a really compatible conversation with her doesn't mean she's the one.
Yeah.
There's probably another 50 women that you would be compatible
50
with.
50 only.
Or 100 or 5 million women that you'd be compatible with. So stop limiting yourself to thinking that this person is the one.
That's a really nice addition to the answer.
Yeah,
I love that.
Thank you so much. All right, the next question is,
and I would love to add something. Is so basically, it's hard to accept defeat for a man or rejection. So that's another way to look at it. Maybe he doesn't wanna get like, he doesn't wanna accept the rejection. So that's why he's hang up. But he's just gonna make it harder for himself because she's clearly moved on. So there's no point of making dua for her.
I love that. So just accepting that, okay, rejections happen. It's a normal part of this process, and you don't need to make it mean so many things. Like, you don't need to.
Because honestly, you're not gonna appeal to all the Muslim women out there.
You're not.
And not all the Muslim women out there are gonna be appealing to you. It's the same thing. So you need to understand that rejection is part of the process of finding the one. Sometimes you'll like someone and they won't like you back, and sometimes someone will like you and you won't like them back, and that's life.
That's life.
The only time that you'll find the one is that when you like them and she likes you back.
Exactly. That's how you know they're the one. Like, when it does actually happen and you do get married, khalas, they've become the one for you. That's the one that you've chosen. So just like accepting that rejection is a part of the process just makes life so much easier, and doesn't need to be so heavy. Like, we don't need to take it as there's something wrong with me. Why didn't you like me? Well, clearly it's because of distance. Like you said that, because of distance. And that's completely fine. Making peace with not everyone's going to be okay, especially if it's a long distance relationship and relocating. Maybe they're not okay with that, and that's totally fine with that.
What you can do is just make dua for her. May Allah allow her to find a better, suitable husband. And inshallah, Allah will allow you to meet a better and suitable wife for you, inshallah.
Inshallah, beautiful. All right, next question is, what questions do I ask a guy when I first meet him?
All right. There's unlimited questions.
No, right? It's like it's such a broad question.
Yeah. All right. So you can start with, I believe, starting the conversation light and then building it up.
So what's some examples of starting?
Imagine that you're meeting the person for the first time. You can have, honestly, it's unlimited questions. You can ask them, like, first you need to get to know the person. So you need to ask them about, like, how old are they? Where did they live? Did they grow up in the same country that they brought up in? What did they do in their life? Did they study? Did they work?
Beautiful. Sounds like context questions. Start off with context questions so that you have an idea about who the person is. So even if it's through a mutual friend, don't assume you know all the contextual questions about them. Like, get to know them a little bit better. What do they do for work? Why have they chosen that line of work? What do they love about what they do for work? Like, there's so many contextual questions you can ask. But
honestly, maybe she knows the person. So if you know the person and you're asking, like, okay, I know all these context questions, what do I ask? That would be a different question. Like, maybe you can ask deep questions. The way Hannah answered it in one of the videos I remember is like, one of the questions that I learned from you is like, how do you spend your time? And that will tell you a lot about the person and the values. I don't know, telling them directly the question is like, what are your values or what are you interested in? It comes along like very direct. It's like, it's a really nice idea. Like, how do you spend your time?
How do you spend your week? What do you do in your free time? How would you love to spend more of your time? If you had extra time in the week, what would you spend it with? Because that gives you an idea of what they value and what's really important. And some deep questions that you can ask is like, things like, tell me one lesson that you've learnt this year that you didn't previously know about yourself, or what's your hopes and dreams and aspirations for next year, and why is marriage something that's important for you? Why are you prioritizing marriage, and what do you envision a beautiful marriage to look like? And have you ever met a couple that has that beautiful marriage, and who are they, and who do you aspire to be? There's unlimited questions. But
honestly, if we can go deeper in answering this question, I feel like she needs to know her values first. Once she knows her values,
you know what to ask.
Then you can know what to ask the other person. So let's say her main value is religion. So she needs to see, all right, so if my main value is religion, I need to ask religion-based questions.
Yeah, beautiful.
Religion-based questions. So that will give her more information about that value in the person that she's meeting.
Beautiful. I love that. So I love what you said, Ahmad, the importance of knowing your own values. And we actually have a values mini course that you can register, do it at your own pace to get to know your own values. So if you're interested, inshallah, we'll put the link in the box below, the description below, so that you can get to know your own values, because it's a key game changer when you know your own values, because you know what you're looking for, you know what's really important, rather than leaving things really open-ended, and it gives you a guide of what type of questions you want to ask. And the key ingredient, and this is what we said in our previous podcast episode, is you need to come with curiosity. If you are curious about the person, you need to come with not as an interview mindset, like you're not interviewing the person, you're coming in, this is another human being that's grown up in a different household and has a different way of thinking. You're just curious about who are they, what do they think like that mentality, that curiosity will generate those questions without you having to really think too much about it if you have that curiosity.
It's almost the same thing. You need to be curious, you need to be curious, you need to be fun. You cannot make it mean like it's a chore. I need to ask all the right questions.
Yeah.
Because the other person will feel it and the conversation will not be light and fun.
Exactly.
Right?
100%. Like the other person, you feel it when somebody's curious about you. Like I felt it when I was getting to know Ahmad. He was so curious about me, and I felt it. And that made the conversation flow.
I'll tell you about a trick.
Tell me. What's the trick?
That Hannah did. I believe you mentioned in your profile that you recently started your business.
Yeah.
And unintentionally, I was curious. I was like, so what is it after getting to know you and everything? I was like, so what kind of business are you running? What did you do? And later on, I found out that she did that intentionally to see if people are interested and curious.
100%. So my profile was very detailed, it had a lot of beautiful information about who I was, but I purposely left things a little bit vague so it has room for the other person to ask me curious questions, because that's what I was looking for. Like, how curious are they in the conversation about are they just speaking about themselves, or are they asking curious questions to get to know me? And you did that really well. So you passed the test, Mabruk.
Alhamdulillah.
Beautiful. Let's go to the next one, where it says, do you believe our spouses are written? And what comfort can this give me in a time of uncertainty and extreme anxiety? I'm speaking to someone who I feel like I'm meant to be with. The way we met has such significance and meaning to me that it feels like a sign, but big things have come our way for him. Things were going right, but he had to go to abroad, and also other big changes have happened.
So this is a big question. So
there's many parts. So
let's answer it part by part.
Yeah,
do you believe that
spouses
are written? Definitely.
100%. Everything by Allah is written.
Yes. So that's qadar, and that's what we believe in.
Yeah. And of course, that can give us a certainty in times of uncertainty, because if you know that Allah has got your back, He's Al-Wakil, the trustee, the one that cares for you and loves you. If you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by His 99 names, you know that Allah has got your back. So in times of uncertainty, if we lean upon Allah through His 99 names.
Though what it could mean, it doesn't mean that this person that you know is the best for you is your fate.
Yeah.
What it means basically is Allah has the best interest for you.
Yeah.
So He's going to provide you with the best husband. Yeah. That's what you should believe in.
Yes.
It doesn't mean until you are married to that person, you don't know that.
100%. You don't know what Allah has written for you until things unfold. And then the second part of the question, where it's like you were speaking to someone, it sounds like you've put significance into how you've met him, and you've made this love story in your mind because it's a sign. And sometimes we overemphasize signs. We think, oh, this has to be a sign. Not necessarily. Okay, yes, you could have met someone with significance.
I need to interrupt.
Please.
This reminds me of movies.
Yeah.
That's what movies make it all about. When, I don't know, if you're in, I remember you talking about this.
Disney
I
movies.
seen, no. Yeah. I remember scenes when a boy and a girl in a school, they pump up and the box has fallen.
Yeah, her box falls and he picks it up.
So that's what movies teach us about. In reality, honestly, it doesn't really have that weight.
Yeah.
It might have that weight for you, and that's beautiful. though if it's not complete with marriage and the right steps, it really does not have that weight.
It just as a story, it ends up just being a story in our minds, and we try to justify it that it's a sign, but not necessarily. Just because you met someone in a significant way or a really beautiful way doesn't mean that it's a sign that he's your husband. It doesn't mean that at all. The only way you know like things are moving forward is if there's commitment and compatibility. That's how you know that's
your values are matching.
Yeah.
He's taking the actions by speaking to your family. There is actual steps towards marriage. That's when you know. That's gonna make like more than just knowing that it's a beautiful story the way we met.
And that's it. We romanticize because we want to tell a nice story about how we met our spouses, right?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and you will have that. You will have that. Just because you have it with this guy doesn't mean that you won't have it with another guy. So I just want to emphasize that. And you said that, you know, things were going right, but things have changed. Like he went abroad and there were other big changes. So it's also making peace that maybe perhaps this relationship has come to an end. If he's gone abroad, if there's been other big changes, which we actually don't know from this, or from what you said, what that is. It's again, it comes back to our earlier question of making peace, of letting go that someone was significant to us and they're no longer significant to us, and we need to let go of that relationship.
As long as there are no actual steps, like if there is no family involvement, you cannot. It's hard. Like don't get hung up on that.
Yeah, don't get hung up on just one person as the one. Just because you had a really great start doesn't mean, khalas, if things are no longer compatible, if he's moved overseas, then it's time to make peace with letting go.
And use that power that you have into making a better relationship.
Yeah.
Like finding another relationship. Rather than just, imagine if people get stuck years in a dream
relationship that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, like if you put the effort that you're putting in this relationship to something new, you will meet someone better, inshallah.
You will, inshallah. So like giving yourself permission to let go of this relationship and then investing your time in actually finding someone that's great, rather than just living that fantasy and then like 5 years goes past and still nothing has happened because you're still hung up on this guy that was 5 years ago, for example. So just letting go, just being okay that there are going to people be coming into your life, and there will be people exiting your life, and being okay with that.
There's a beautiful ayah here. Allah says in the Quran that عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم. So we don't know what is khair and shar for us. Yes. Allah knows. We need to just trust Allah because He's the one who facilitates the khair for us. Yes. We don't know. We might see it as this is the person. This is the person that is we're compatible. He's so good. This is my husband. But you don't know. Maybe whatever happens, because she's saying he had to go abroad. Maybe that happens because Allah wants to.
Maybe He wants
off you.
Yeah, subhanAllah. So beautiful. I love that. Next question is, I'm in a situation where I found someone I believe is a good match for me, but my father strongly opposed. His main reasons are cultural differences along with opinions that seem to be based on stereotypes and personal assumptions. I've tried discussing it with him, but he remains firm in his stance. How can I navigate this situation in a way that respects my family while pursuing what I believe is best for me? What should I do if my father continues to oppose? How should I interpret the results of istikhara in a situation like this? And so many questions. And how do I know when it's the time to move forward despite the approval, or let go and move on? So this is a really big question. And this is a situation that some people find themselves in, actually, where they found someone that's a good match, but family doesn't approve. And this is a tricky situation because you don't want to cut off your family in this situation. You need to navigate it where you can't cut off your family. You can't cut off. And at the same time, you also want to do what's right for you. And so it's about navigating.
But I believe that we need to look at it from different point of views.
Okay.
So this is the point of view of the person who is asking the question. A beautiful way to resolve this issue is communication. So there must be a strong communication within the family members between the daughter or the son and their parents. And I believe without that connection, without that strong connection and the communication, it's going to be hard to go through the whole situation of marriage.
100%.
So if there was a good communication between the parents and the daughter, she needs to ask about the reasons, and the reasons needs to be clear.
Yeah.
And then the base that as Muslims we go to, basically Islam's. What does Islam teaches us? Islam teaches us من جاءكم ترضون دينه وخلقه فزوجوه. That's for the man.
Yeah.
For the woman, فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك.
Yeah.
That's the base.
Yes.
Anything else is an add-on.
Yeah.
If these two, like, those are the main things, components for marriage.
Yeah.
If it's there, you can build upon it.
Yeah.
If it's not there, the marriage is all going to be
100%.
shaky.
Yeah.
That's the first part
Yeah.
of communication, family, because we are humans. Even if it's my parents, we're going to have different opinions, different viewpoints.
Yeah.
And only by communication and having that connection with them that we can have, like, we can understand each other.
Yeah. 100%. I'm so with you. So it's starting off with that communication with your father, first of all, and just building that relationship with him so that you could have an open and honest conversation with him about what's really coming up for you and what's really coming up for him. And you said it's because he's rejecting because of like cultural differences and stereotypes and personal assumptions. So just first of all, opening that relationship with your dad and not just about the marriage, but overall improving your relationship with your dad so you feel like you can communicate with him a lot better, more efficiently, so that he can understand where you're coming from. The second thing is, I would say enlist other family members to assist you in this matter. So whether that's mum, whether that's brother, uncle, other family relatives that can help speak to dad. So if dad has someone's ear, say that, for example, he listens to your uncle and like he loves to hear what your uncle has to say and respects the opinion of your uncle, go speak heart to heart with that person and get that person to also speak to dad, because sometimes dad also needs to hear somebody else's opinion or another family member's opinion. So go see who dad listens to and loves to hear from and respects their opinion, and speak to them about the situation that you're in. So you don't need to be by yourself. Enlist the support system around you. Enlist your family members, family friends, whoever you can that can assist you in this matter, if you truly believe that this man is worth pursuing, and if you feel like he's a great values match and that he is someone that you'd like to pursue and take this seriously.
Because dad can honestly have some valid points that he sees, even if it's cultural.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a valid point.
Yeah.
So unless there's that type of transparent communication between the parties, it's going to be hard. 100%. So I believe that's the main way to answer this question, is like building that relationship with dad and having that very beautiful communication style with dad, and then seeking out that marriage, inshallah.
Yeah. And then asking Allah for help ultimately as well, like coming back to Allah and telling Allah, like, this is my situation, like I feel like this guy's a great match for me. Ya Allah, it's very difficult right now, show me the way. Ask Allah for his guidance, ask Allah for his help, because we can't do anything by ourselves.
That's a beautiful addition, because honestly, if that's what written for you, it's against anybody's will, it's going to happen. If it's written for you, it is going to happen. If he's the right person for you, if Allah knows that this is the best person for you, it's going to happen, inshallah, in the most beautiful way. Yeah. So leading upon Allah is the number one.
That's the best thing, inshallah. Next question is, I met this wonderful guy. He's just been green flags. However, he's disappeared twice. When I text again, he usually responds quickly, but his main excuse is that he's not a good texter, and that when we go back to the same effort he was putting me on before, which was like a paragraph, he would send me that we had a good conversation. I feel like I really like him, his manners and everything, but since this is the second time of ghosting, I'm wondering if it's appropriate to text him again, if he responds, and tell him straight up my expectations and ask about future intentions, or just let it go. I've been having a really hard time thinking about it, because genuinely I thought he was the one for me. We are long distance, but I was literally even thinking of moving to his state to finish my school. I'm really sad that all my hopes are dying because of his ghosting behavior. I don't understand why he even initiated talking. What do I do now after the ghosting?
All right, so let's again split it up.
So basically, there's two things that I can see from this, is that she believes that he's the one. Like, there's a part of her that has these hopes that he's the one for me and like I really like him.
So if I would have if I would have a conversation with the person who's asking the question, the first thing is going to ask her is, how long has been this going for? Is it like a couple of days, a month, 2 months, half a year? We really need to know that.
Yeah.
And based on that, I will say,
Joanne had been talking for a month.
If they both see that there is a compatibility between them, the person, the man, needs to show commitment and have an actionable step towards asking.
It sounds like there hasn't been any commitment step that's been taken, because there wasn't even a conversation about marriage that was brought up.
Yeah, and that's what we need to again stress for all the ladies out there. If you're meeting someone and you think that he's a compatible and he's really the one, again, we need to connect that with commitment. If there is no actionable steps from the guy towards you, no matter what he shows you, no matter what great
promises.
Yeah, don't get up, don't get hanged up on that.
Yeah.
You need to see actionable steps from the man, asking for a meeting with your father. There must be something.
There has to be something like concrete that he's taking action and he's serious. And the second thing, like just to add on to that, is that like the fact that he hasn't brought up anything about marriage, and you've been talking for a month already, means...
We don't know. Maybe I just need to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not interested, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know how to end this.
Yeah.
So we don't wanna be in their knee.
Yeah.
So all we're gonna say is, if you are the woman, you need to make a decision for yourself.
What standards are you gonna have for yourself?
So what is the standard that you're gonna keep? You've been talking for him for around a month, and you think that there's compatibility, right? You have two choices, I believe. The first one is either you end it up, or you actually say to the person, like, I'm really interested in you, and I believe we should take this further. Yeah. Do you agree or not? I want to know what's your position.
Straight it out.
Yeah.
And I think we need to be okay with that, because I think sometimes women shy away that it's the guy that has to bring up that first commitment conversation. No, as a woman, you can bring that up and say, hey, listen, I'm interested in you.
Yeah.
This is how I'd like things to move forward. I just want to check base to see if you are also on the same page. And that would give you a clear indication based on how he responds, whether or not he's committed or interested.
Because there is no running away from that answer.
You can't. It's a straight out question.
You can't.
Not beating around the bush with that.
Yeah.
And why should you beat around the bush for that? This is marriage. This is your time. And like, I want to emphasize this again and again and again. Ladies, your time is your most valuable asset. You don't just give it away to anybody that just you have a good connection with.
Only ladies?
No.
So men?
No. And the reason why I'm saying ladies is because I already talked to ladies.
No, but it happens to men also.
Yes.
It could happen to a man 100%. Also.
Your time is the most valuable.
Yes. So if you're like, if I'm interested in a woman, the easiest thing to do is to
ask
just
her directly.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you directly. Like, I am interested in you. I feel like we are compatible. Yeah. Do you want to take this further? Yeah. And once there is a yes, then you can take the action. If it's a no, that's it. Yeah. You tried. There's no compatibility or there's no acceptance. Ma'a salama, you go ahead for the
100%. Beautiful. And also, just with regards to the ghosting behavior, you have a choice. You can either put the standard like, khalas, he's ghosted me twice, and you can choose to end it right there or there, or you can address it with him directly. Again, these conversations need to happen directly. I know sometimes we feel like it's awkward to address it directly, but this is your life. This is your standards. And so you can say, listen, I don't appreciate it when you just disappear on me. The standard that I have and the expectation that I have is that we are in regular communication once a day, or whatever standard you have for yourself. And if you are having a busy period, I do expect you to inform me in advance. Like, this is what a great relationship is like. So you put that standard. And again, if you find that behavior continues, or that he dismisses you in what you just said and your request for your standards, then you can choose to move on. So it's up to you, really. You can choose to move on right now, or you can have a direct, hard conversation. That's what we call it in relationships.
And honestly, we have both worked on this course that we built for single Muslim ladies are looking to get married. Yeah. And alhamdulillah, we have mentioned all these, like the red flags, green flags, how to deal with red flags when it appears. Is it really a red flag?
Yeah.
So it's a really awesome resource that you can guys.
Yeah, so if you're interested in knowing more about my course, because my course is A to Z in helping single Muslim women have the tools to find the man of their dreams, and basically how to navigate this whole space and how to start off conversations and how to navigate and how to know if he's the one and all of that. So if there's something you're interested in, inshallah, we'll put the link in the description box below. When getting to know someone, I always fear that I won't be able to trust them. I feel that the facade they present to me before marriage will be different to how they'll treat me after marriage. How can I figure out how to trust in terms of marriage? I'll answer that, and feel free to add to that. Is that sounds like there's some past hurt experiences that you have that need to be resolved, that need to be worked on. So first of all, I would recommend that you go and reach out and work with someone more professionally about that, because it sounds like maybe perhaps in the past you faced that before, and there's some trauma related to that idea of somebody appearing as something different, and there's a huge fear there, and the only way that you'll be able to get past that is by getting some help, inshallah. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is,
how can they work?
So working through with a coach, with a therapist, depending on what the level of
what do you
help
recommend?
is. So I can't recommend that until I know the person. I need to know more information.
But we can recommend that she can work with a coach,
and then the
professional coach, and if he's the one, she's the one that's going to be able to help her, she's going to be able to help her. If not, she's going to
refer to a therapist as well, 100%. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, trust is not something that you find you don't find it in the first conversation. Trust is something that's built, that requires investment. It's like investing into a bank, right? It's something that's built over time, and it's shown through actions. It's shown through words. Are their words matching their actions? Is there consistency in behavior? All of that will show you trust. But
the beautiful way that you can explain it is the way you explain it is like it's a bank account. Trust is a bank account. The relationship has, like, whenever this person does something good, he is like depositing in this account, and it really matters what is the amount or the balance in the account. If it's positive 100 and he does something bad,
like a mistake,
or something that she feels like something bad, that will take off the credit. As much as the credit is in positive, as much as it's not gonna really matter how much the negative is.
Like, for example, with me and you, for example, we've built our bank account, right? Our trust bank account. It's alhamdulillah very high amounts. Do we have arguments? Do we fight? Do we do annoying things for each other? Do we break trust with each other in little ways sometimes? Maybe, perhaps, right? And that's gonna take from the bank account. And subhanAllah, when it takes from the bank account, but because we have such a big already bank account, yes, it's going to take, but it's not a substantial amount unless it's a really big thing, unless it's a big action of mistrust and betrayal. That's a different story. We're not talking about big actions of mistrust. We're talking about little things or little annoyances or little mistakes that happen. And that's why it's very important that you're aware that trust is something that takes time to build, and it requires both parties.
This is the way you can view it. It's an easy way. Like, it's not something instant. Or it's not because some people, I hear Arabs say this. Trust is basically, it's like a vase. Once it's broken, that's it. It's never gonna come back, right? But I don't believe that, honestly. Even imagine that you have a big credit account, and then something really big happens. It depends on the relationship how it can go. It can continue. It can continue.
Still can continue.
It depends on these two people. It's not 100%. Like what people say, like, trust is, if it's broken, that's it. No, I don't believe that.
Because you can come back after hard times. You can come back after big things.
Yes.
And it's all about the relationship that you build up and how you repair it at the end of the day. That's what it comes at too. Like, how can you repair it?
That's a beautiful addition. If both parties are ready to get past a hurtful situation, then they can rebuild that relationship 100%. And rebuild that trust.
If they have the tools, if they have the keenness and the wantingness, because some people might not want to after like a big mistrust or something like that. They might not want to, and that's a different story. But like we're saying, overall, depending obviously on the situation and the couple and all of that. And the second thing that I want to mention about the bank account is you can't just say, oh, he's got a deposit in my bank account, but I'm not going to give him anything until he shows me. That's not what a relationship is like. It's a two-way street, and you have a bank account with him and he has a bank account with you, and that trust account is you have to deposit as well into his account. And that's how it works. Imagine if he's put deposit and you're not giving him anything in return. Like you're not showing up. You're not consistent in your communication. You're betraying his trust and going and spreading around all his secrets or whatever it might be. You're actually withdrawing from him, and then that's not going to work. So it's really important that you realize that it's a two-way street. Like, because some women have this image like, oh, he's got to do all the work, and I've got to just
princess.
Yeah, I'm a princess. That's not how it works. That's not how a relationship works. So it's a two-way street, and it's got to be balanced, inshallah. So that's what I would recommend with that question, inshallah.
All right, let's do the next question.
I'm 26 years old, soon to be 27. For almost 5 years now, I've been searching for a suitable marriage partner. As the years pass, I find myself becoming more anxious. I have complete faith that Allah has written a beautiful future for me, and I try to live each moment with hope, keeping tawakkul and sabr in Him. However, there are times in my patience where my patience wavers, and I feel a sense of uncertainty for the future. How can I strengthen my sabr so I can remain steadfast no matter what happens?
She needs to attend the masterclass and the course.
I run regular masterclasses that are free events that you can join online, inshallah. So feel free to come and join that, because I answer that question really beautifully in those masterclasses, inshallah. So yeah, come and join my masterclasses, because I help you gain the tools, because there are tools that you can rely on in those times where it feels really difficult, inshallah.
But if you want to answer these questions in summary, what could you say?
What could I say? I could say that realizing that you're human, and that's okay, that sometimes we will have days where we feel low, or days where we feel sad, or days where it feels hard, and that's completely fine. Rather than looking at it as I'm wavering in my faith, or like, my sabr is less. No, looking at it as I'm just human, and today is just a hard day for me. Like recognizing your emotions are your emotions, and that's completely fine. And the second
thing that I would love to add is you're not alone.
You're not alone.
You are not alone. There is a lot of people a lot of women, single Muslim ladies who are out there who feel the same.
Yeah.
And that's why we felt like there's something to do about it. And we are actually doing something about it. We are helping single Muslim ladies to equip themselves with the tools that they can add to themselves and their personality in order to have a better marriage plan, let's say.
100%. And part of this beautiful course that I've built is that you get access to a beautiful community. So we've got women from all over the world in their 20s, 30s, 40s and 50s, subhanAllah, from all different backgrounds, all different stories that also feel the same. So they feel very validated by other people's experiences, that like sometimes they have a low day and then they reach out for the community for support. So all I'm saying is that surround yourself with a beautiful community that supports you, inshallah, because it's okay to have a low day. It's okay to feel a little bit tired or a little bit low or a little bit sad in some days. And also leaning upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His 99 names. When we come to relearn about Allah, who He is through His 99 names, you fall in love with Him. So even on those days where it feels really hard, when you lean upon Allah al-Wakil, when you lean upon Allah al-Fattah, it just gives you so much comfort in those times.
SubhanAllah, because we know that in Islam, we know that Iman is not a constant thing. No. It goes up and down, and that's normal. That's life. Life is always going to take you up and down, up and down. It's never going to always be a constant up or constant down, SubhanAllah, because
that's the human experience.
Yeah, there's nothing constant in life but Allah.
Yeah, I love that. So beautiful. Let's do one last question.
We're sorry, guys, if we did not answer your questions.
So many
there are many questions. So honestly, what we can do, we can start answering questions on Instagram stories. So if we missed your question, please go to our Instagram page, follow us, and you can send us a message saying that, hey, you did not get my question on YouTube. So please answer my question in the Instagram stories.
Yes, and yeah, we would love to do that. Last question is, I've been talking to a person living in the UK, originally from Afghanistan. It's long distance. I live in the Middle East. We've been talking for 4 months straight. Everything was good, and we were planning to meet in the December holidays until something happened and his family got to got to know about me and he broke off whatever was going on between us. His family is going to get him married off. I felt hurt because before I received the breakup text, we had talked about everything and great, and he blocked me. He didn't even give me the space to express my feelings. Did I get attached to him too soon, 4 months of talking, or was the timeline good? So basically, there's many parts to this question.
It's a hard situation, honestly, to be in. We are sorry that you had to go through that.
It's hard when you've liked someone and you felt like things were good and you had plans. So it seems like there was some commitment involved where there was family involvement. It seems like there was some family involvement. You were planning to meet, so that it sounds like there were plans in place. So of course you're going to feel sad that that it didn't work out. So
and also she's feeling sad because the way he ended up, because he did not give her space, or he did not.
He just blocked you. It sounds like a breakup text and then a
There's
block.
He did not clarify why is this happening. And that shows, subhanAllah, that shows a lot of things.
Take comfort in that shows a lot about his character, because that there's a beautiful way to break off a relationship with someone. Say whatever the reasons are, there's still a beautiful, elegant way to do that. A very beautiful way that he could have done that. And
what could be the beautiful way?
Especially if they've been talking for 4 months, this needs to be something that's done through a conversation. It can't be done through a text, because it has been a significant amount of time. If it's just been like a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, all right, do it through a text. But it's been 4 months and you had plans to meet and the family was involved. So it needs to at least be done on through like a phone call or a Zoom call, whatever it is, because you're long distance. And he needs to express like, this is what's coming up for me, and I'm so sorry that this might hurt your feelings, but I want to be honest with you. And I know that we've been talking for 4 months already. I just didn't feel like it was right for me, X, Y, Z. And I think it's better we part off, and I wish you all the best and all of that. Like, it needs to just be done through a conversation, and it needs to be done in a really elegant way where he addresses that there could be hurt on the other side, and that she will be upset by this decision. And like that's I believe.
It's not acceptable to just block her and
through a text message after 4 months. That's not acceptable. And when you said, did I get attached to him too soon? I don't feel like
if you got attached, you got attached. That's the end of that.
Like I feel like sometimes we get caught up in, I should have not got attached too soon, or I should have not. Like, make peace
that's your feelings. SubhanAllah, it's natural.
Yes,
that's what naturally happening.
It's naturally happening because you felt like there was commitment and compatibility. So naturally, of course, you were going to get attached to him. So being okay with, this is what happened, and like, all right, like make peace with that. And
SubhanAllah, once she does have peace with that, then she can like heal from this and move forward, inshallah, to meeting someone, inshallah, better for her.
Yeah, 100%. So just making peace with, yes, you did get attached to him, and that's completely fine. Sometimes we're scared to get attached to people, but a relationship is all about attachment styles. Like, you need to get attached to someone. How else would you have a relationship if you're not attached to someone? You know how people say, I'll never get attached to anyone but Allah. No, Allah has created us to be attached to people. We have to be like, that's how relationships work. Like,
friends, family, marriages, that's us. That's human beings.
The only, like, where people misunderstand attachment is when they think like attachment, dangerous attachment is when you forget about Allah and you put utter dependence on another person. That's no longer attachment.
Or maybe because she thinks that there is nothing, like, she's not married to him. She's not really, she's attached to him. That's why maybe she feels like, is it halal or haram attachment? And again, at the end of the day, as these are feelings, and feelings are created from Allah. Allah created us this way. And if you're attached, that means you're attached. It's natural. That's the natural reaction. What you're feeling is natural. That's the stress point in here.
So don't get too hung up on, I shouldn't be attached. No, you have to be. That's how you build a relationship with someone, is building a healthy attachment with someone and knowing how to do so. So making peace with that and giving yourself like space to grieve this relationship, grieve the end of it. And then whenever you're ready to open up the door to meeting someone new, inshallah, you can do that.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Beautiful.
That's a beautiful way to answer that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. I know there were a lot more questions, mashallah, and I love that so many, like if I can show you, there are paragraphs which we love and we really, really do appreciate it. So if we haven't, let us know if we haven't answered your question and you'd really love to ask.
Yes, you can head on our Instagram page, follow us, and then send us a message saying, hey, you didn't get to answer my question on a YouTube podcast. So inshallah, we'll make a day where we answer questions on Instagram stories, inshallah.
And if you like, we can continue to do another episode on YouTube, inshallah, and we can answer your questions in a lot more depth. And again, fill out the form, inshallah, below. And don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe, like this video, and share it with people that you love, inshallah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And until next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.